Silver the Hedgehog, everyone's favorite time-traveling telekinetic porcupine. Sometimes he's more overpowered than Sonic and Shadow, and other times he's just happy to be there. Today, we're gonna look at Silver's character in every Sonic game he appears in and rank him from worthless to elite. Silver's introduction was during one of Sonic's darkest chapters, and even though everyone loves to clown on this game's plot, most will agree that it establishes Silver really well. His motivations are justified, his cause is super sympathetic, and it honestly feels more like a story about him than the Hedgehog the game was named after. He gets his own story mode, and it starts by showing the horrendous state of his reality, with there being seemingly no way to restore it. Enter Mephiles, a mysterious hedgehog-looking character that brings hope to Silver's situation for the first time ever, and pins the world's entire destruction on one blue hedgehog. So he travels back in time, finds Sonic, and Amy, get the f*** out of the way. God damn it, he's gone. Look what you did. Despite that, he decides to team up with Amy to track him down again. And when he finally does, he annihilates him.
It's no use! It's no use! It's no use!
Sonic's cooked, and if it weren't for Amy jumping in last second, he would have been done for. But she does, Silver lets him run off, and Amy grills him for trying to kill someone who didn't do anything yet, and gets him contemplating whether or not he's really doing the right thing. But then he gets convinced by Mephiles to just kill him anyways, and he tries, causing the princess to get kidnapped once again and holding Sonic in place to beat the hell out of, until this dude shows up and... So in desperation, he activates Chaos Control at the same time as Shadow and opens up a time travel portal that conveniently takes him back 10 years right to where all that shit went down. They split up, Shadow takes on Mephiles and seals him away, and Silver holds Iblis in place for the Duke to seal into Elise. After that, they head back to present day knowing now that Mephiles is evil and Sonic's innocent, and they try to help him rescue Elise from Eggman. She already dead, so Sonic goes back to the past to save her, while Silver goes back to the future to seal Iblis once and for all. He tries to seal Iblis into himself like the Duke did to Elise, but it rejects his body, and Blaze steps up to take one for the team, causing her to fade away. And that's the end of his story mode, and it's kinda all over the place and hard to rank, because he's doing a ton to shift how things play out, but it's not always for the better. He gets Elise kidnapped a couple extra times and is manipulated by Mephiles pretty easily throughout the story, but kicks Sonic's ass again and again, making him look kinda like a joke. It really comes down to his contribution in the last story, where he suggests there's still hope to defeat Solaris, and goes super alongside Sonic and Shadow to defeat him in the past, present, and future. Doing the right thing in the finale, and contributing as much as he did, I mean, he's gotta go elite. Yes, even with that awful desert level, he deserves it. In this game, his reality's not being tormented by Iblis, but Eggman Nega's interdimensional ass is up to no good. He starts using this camera to turn characters into playing cards, and wants to turn the whole planet into one. So cue some mid-ass racing gameplay, Silver outrunning everybody, and eventually working with Shadow and the real Eggman to foil Nega's plan and save the day. Within the confines of this game, it's about as good as he can be, so I think he's going back up in Elite. He's not part of the adventure mode in this game, but he is an unlockable character in the party mode, which is cool to see. Yeah, that's about it. He's a solid playable inclusion, and I'll leave it at that. They snub him in the first Mario and Sonic Olympic game in favor of his purple feline friend. But in the 2010 Winter Olympics, he finally gets the role he deserves as a full-on playable character, and keeps it that way all the way through the most recent Olympics in Tokyo. Now, the handheld games are a different story, and the 2020 games have a bit more of a traditional adventure mode, but Silver's involved in all of those about as much as he could be, and is mostly a strong but average playable character. This game splits its story into 4 teams, and Silver shares his with Espio, which is a power couple I never thought I'd see, but I'm here for it. Silver goes back to the past again to collect Chao and hide them from Eggman Nega, who wants to use the Chao to fully power up the Ifrit, this game's giant fucking monster. At first, Espio thinks Silver's kidnapping the Chao to do bad stuff, but he quickly warms up to Silver's cause and decides to help him out. Silver races just about every character in the game, and he even fights Shadow head to head, and from his side of the story, he beats him, which is a huge step up from even 06, where he couldn't do shit against Shadow. But all his Chao collecting was seemingly in vain, because Nega's still got a room full of them he's gonna feed to the Ifrit, and Silver's not able to find it to free him. Thankfully though, Sonic and Tails get the job done, so Silver races Metal Sonic version 3.0 to the Ifrit to prevent him from waking it up. And he wins, but once again, it doesn't matter, because Eggman already woke it up. He then has to fight that Metal Sonic and the Ifrit at the same time, and somehow defeats them both, which is an incredibly elite look. He's not involved in the story at all, but once you beat the Babylon story mode, he's unlocked and fully playable, so... Silver himself isn't in this game, but Sir Galahad is his doppelganging knight form that makes an appearance in this game's multiplayer mode. According to Arthurian legend, Sir Galahad is the son of Sir Lancelot, who's portrayed in this game to be Shadow the Hedgehog, so Shadow's canonically Silver's father, which checks out. He's playable in that shoehorned in multiplayer, and that's it, so he's going down with the rest of them. Despite incorporating just about every other Sonic the Hedgehog character into the story mode, including Cream the motherfucking Rabbit, Silver doesn't appear at all. He is an unlockable character though, so... The home console version has like no characters, but in the DS version, Silver does make a cameo. He's visiting the park with Blaze and they go on some rides together, bump into Sonic, and give him some optional missions. It was nice to see the two of them hanging out, and I do really like that he offers to help Sonic, but it doesn't amount to anything and can't save him from his first worthless. In Sonic Generations, Silver appears as a rival boss fight toward the end of the game, and finally looks like that crazy powerful character again. He's moving backwards faster than a fully boosting Sonic, and he's whipping around cars with his psychokinesis like it's nothing. He definitely looks more capable than ever, and the giant ball of rubble he's pulling after you at the end of the fight only further accentuates that. Running through Crisis City for this fight makes the Mach Speed sections from Sonic 06 actually seem like a good concept, because here, having the quick step and polished gameplay, it feels awesome, and it's probably the best rival fight in the game. He does end up losing, but any boss fight has to end that way, and this is about as strong as he could possibly look in one. The biggest downside is that he's not all that significant to the plot. He's holding a Chaos Emerald that Sonic takes, so he does something, but outside of this fight, he's pretty absent. Even for the final boss, he's a cheerleader like everyone else, so it's not worthy of an elite tier. But worthy opponent is fair as hell. And since Sonic X Shadow Generations doesn't change anything for him, that's going up there too. I hate Sonic Forces, and another reason why is Silver. When he was introduced, he was this determined, high-octane hedgehog that beat up Sonic with ease. But in this game, despite being pretty decently involved, he looks weaker and less competent than ever before. While Sonic's presumed dead, there's no hope for the Resistance, despite having an equally capable hedgehog right f***ing there.
I'm an optimist, but I'm also a realist.
He did give us that gem, but still, dude fell off. They rescue Sonic, shenanigans ensue, Silver faces off against Infinite and gets his shit rocked, needing Sonic to step in the way to make sure he didn't get killed. And after that, he's kinda non-existent. He shows up for the big battle at the end and does a little bit there, but is honestly just a background character. This guy had and still has so much potential, and this game almost makes fun of that. I know he does something, but he's going down in worthless. Finally, a Sonic racing game that incorporates Silver into its story, but it's really not all that much. He catches on to Eggman's scheme pretty quickly and even confronts him about it, but that doesn't amount to anything since he still gets his hands on that ultimate energy engine and powers up his Death Egg with it. Now, he is considered an above-average playable character, which makes his case a lot nicer, but doesn't do enough to pull him higher than a playable tier. And there you have it. And if you want to know which videos are coming soon and which characters will be deemed useless next, go follow my new Instagram page down in the description.